man choose.
What's going on, everybody? It's TheNidien, and I'm bringing you Military Monday episode number 5. If you're wondering what the heck you're watching, this is a little RPG called Death Spank. Picked it up on Steam for 15 bucks. It's actually got a second installment or an expansion pack for another 15. This game is actually super fun. It's got a lot of dry humor in it if you read the text through the little gameplay here. And it's just one of those things, you know, when you're bored and you want to sit around and have a little bit of fun. And I whipped it up on hard mode, you know, hard mode or GTFO. So that's what this is. I recommend the game if you're looking for something little to play. I've played it for quite a few hours now, and I'm still nowhere near, as you can see when I bring up the map, anywhere near through the game at all. So maybe a quarter, maybe almost half, but I got a lot to do and a lot to figure out. So, but the game's a lot of fun, and I do recommend it if you got 15 bucks and you're looking for something a little bit. And it's not graphic intensive at all. I think I get like 900 frames per second on my 5770. So it's nothing too special graphic-wise for those of you guys that may not have, you know, top-end computers and can't handle, you know, some of the bigger games. But anyways, back to Military Monday. Now I had a few suggestions about getting together my funny stories, and I'm working on it. But I'm going to continue on with some of the places I went for this episode, and I'm going to deal a lot with California and the Mojave Desert with this one. I can give you a little military pro tip of the day, and that would be never, ever, ever, ever put hand sanitizer on your balls. And you may be asking, now why would you do that? Well, sometimes when we're out in the field, especially in the Mojave, there would be, you know, 14, 15, 16 days straight without a shower. So, you know, you use little baby wipes or whatever to clean up. But we weren't expecting to be out there that long due to our CO being, well, jackass, to be completely honest. And he ended up being forced to retire after his little episode in the Mojave with us, because he was a little too worried about playing games of cards at 4 o'clock in the morning and not so worried about our health and safety and all that, because we were supposed to get you're supposed to get a bag of ice per day per 2 people, and we never seen ice at all until the last day we were there. They helicoptered it in on us. They probably thought we were all gonna die or something. I'm not exactly sure what was going on, but that's what happened there. But yes, back to the wow, what am I talking about? I'm tired today, boys and girls. But hand sanitizer, yes, never ever ever use it as a baby wipe to clean your private areas. I'm going to tell you what happens. It burns, and it burns really bad. It actually became a joke, and we did it more than once, I guess because you get bored out there. But you can try it if you want. I don't suggest it, and if you do try it, let me know how it turned out for you, because I can guarantee you're not going to love life for about 2 to 5 minutes. And then after that, you get a nice, fresh, cool, clean feeling. But while it's doing its thing, it burns, and it burns pretty damn bad. But back to the Mojave. When we were out there, I've been out there twice. Twice? Yes, twice. The first time we were out there, the average temperature that year was, oh man, anywhere between 120 and 145, I think, is the top it hit. The second year we were around there, it was just over 100, so it wasn't nearly as bad as the first year. We didn't know really what to expect. That's the first time I've ever been in a desert. You know, you hear a lot of stories about how you can get lost, and kind of like your distance perception is way off. And I can tell you that's the honest God truth. Something that looks maybe 10, 20 miles away, if that, is more like 50, 60. So that's why, you know, people tend to get really lost in the desert and end up dying, because something that looks just right down the road and they start walking towards it, they may never make it, depending on the time of day. And come noon, there's no place to hide, there's no shade, there's no nothing, you're just on your own. The rocks out there, you couldn't even sit on the rocks were so hot. I'm not exactly sure how animals live out there. I know the turtles that you have to be wary about, you can't touch them or anything because they're endangered. Because if you touch them, you know, they only have their own, they have their specific water supply, and if they end up going to the bathroom, like you'll end up scaring them and they'll pee, and once they pee, they're dead because they're wasting their water supply that they needed to get to that next spot. And you know, the Mojave is pretty much like California when it comes, or not California because it is in California, but North Carolina when it comes to poisonous animals and a lot of stuff you got to look out for. You know, they got tons of snakes, sidewinders, scorpions, tarantulas, all sorts of weird spiders I've never seen before. We ran across a spider, actually a bunch of them. They run across the sand. And I mean, these things don't just, you know, run across sand. These things haul ass. I'm almost banking that they can outrun. They could outrun me. And they run with their two legs. Their two front legs are straight up in the air, kind of like they're just running and screaming through the desert. These things are weird. I don't know if they're poisonous. Nobody got bit by any, but they were everywhere, and these things just flew. We ran into a scorpion nest a few times. You know, you got to make sure you shake out at your boots and everything for rattlesnakes, scorpions, all that stuff at night because they try to find someplace warm, and guess what? You're laying on the ground, and all your crap is warm. So it's one of those things we actually ran into. It was my first encounter with a black widow. They happen to have laid some eggs underneath the sinks in the bathroom back at base, and nobody noticed it until one kid dropped something and had to pick up something underneath the sink and noticed that there was a bunch of black widows underneath their garden eggs. And I'm telling you, these things are aggressive as all get out. I wasn't really expecting it, but he stuck a knife under there, and these things attacked the knife and latched on. We ended up having to kill all of them, unfortunately, because we didn't know, you know, one, they're in the bathroom, and any one of us could have got bit and went down and out. I think actually one kid ended up getting bit, and he was down and out for about 4 or 5 days. It wasn't looking pretty for a while. We thought he was a done goner. But yeah, the Mojave, I mean, you get this right offhand, I can't remember what it's called, but your body starts retaining water and you swell up like a stuffed pig. You got to make sure you take all your jewelry off. You can barely make a fist. At some points, depending on the heat, it can get so bad you can't make a fist. It's pretty wild. If anybody knows what exactly that's called, let me know, because I can't Google it right this second, and I just can't remember what it's called, but it's pretty nasty. It's different. It takes a few days after you get home to get rid of it. But it's definitely interesting. I mean, it makes you feel like a big old man, though, because your muscles swell up and you feel like you're jacked. But it's just your body, you know, retaining as much water as humanly possible, because the sun there is like, once you step out of the shade or out of a building, you can just feel yourself burning. It's like something completely different I've never experienced before. Now, you'd think with the heat like that, it wasn't miserable. It was more uncomfortable. And no matter what people say, like dry heat, oh, it's just dry heat. I don't care what people say. 145 degrees is 145 degrees. Whether it's dry heat or humid, it don't make a difference. It is hot. And then, what else did we have to experience out there? Oh, I got to do one of the coolest things I've ever been involved in. We got to do like a mock war. And we had F-16 fighters come in. We had, you know, the bombers dropping the 500 and 1,000-pound bombs. We had a mock tank battle going on, shooting AT-4s, you know, the disposable rocket launchers. It was probably the most, actually, it was the best, the coolest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. But at the same time, it's actually really, really overwhelming if you haven't seen it before. And I haven't been to war, but I can only imagine what it's like, and kind of take away from what my friends that have been over to Iraq and Afghanistan have told me. But it was just that alone, without being shot back, it was very overwhelming, and kind of scary, because you don't know. It could at any moment, you know, a 1,000-pound bomb gets dropped, and I mean, this thing is just absolutely mind-boggling. The explosion these things let off. At any moment, you know, they get dropped wrong, you're all dead. One thing I can get into real quick, we almost had like a Roswell type instance out there. When we were out there shooting off, you know, digging our trenches and all this stuff, getting ready for this mock war, we uncovered a thing. Hopefully I don't get hunted down by the CIA for this, but we uncovered a thing in the deserts that, the best way I can describe it, looked like the flux capacitor from the Back to the Future. It was chrome. It had all these weird fins on it. But as soon as we uncovered it, we went and told somebody about it, and they had to radio it in, and next thing you know, the entire base came down on us. We had to leave the area for roughly 8 hours until they got this thing out of there. We weren't allowed to see what it was. I have no idea to this day what it is. All I remember is the fins sticking out, some sort of weird wiring, and it looked like the flux capacitor off of Back to the Future. And the only thing I could think of is, great, you know, I'm never going to be able to go home. I'm going to have to sign some waiver. I'm going to be CIA bugged for the rest of my life. But it makes you wonder. It makes you wonder because something was going down. Otherwise, you know, not that it wouldn't have been that big of a deal. They would have just had an ordnance guy come out and blow whatever it was up and been done with it. So that'll be one of those stories that I'll sit back and I've tried to Google it 150 million times, and I can't find anything that looks like anything I've seen out in that desert. I have no clue what it is. But yeah, so if you're ever out in the Mojave and you know, there's just a lot of stuff. Beware bees, Africanized bees, and they come out of nowhere with the water. It's definitely interesting. But that was my Mojave experience. Probably just like the depths of hell is the best way I can explain it. But I'm compiling my stories for you guys, my funny instances and everything that happened for one big old funny story probably episode 6. So that's what I got for you guys today. I'm beat down. I switched shifts once again. I'm so out of whack, it's not even funny. So I hope you guys all enjoyed your day, enjoy your week, all that good stuff. And if you like this gameplay, and I'm telling you guys, you will enjoy a little bit of Death Spank if you guys get a chance, or if you've played it, you know what I'm talking about. So as always, guys, thanks to all new subscribers that have come around in the past couple days. I'm gonna whip something up sweet for 300 subscribers here when I hit that, probably soon. So as always, guys, have a great day. Peace.
Lollipops. That's okay. These aren't my teeth. Then whose teeth?